Hey my friends, welcome back to the Pop Culture Cafe. I am Huck, and today I want to talk about stuff that we all do, right? As collectors, we all do this. A new title comes out and you got to get it, right? But you already have it. So is it okay to get it again? Are you all right getting it? Maybe it's just an upgrade. Maybe you're going from DVD to Blu-ray or Blu-ray to 4K, something like that. That's just merely an upgrade, so that's not a double dip. So let's talk about all that. So upgrading, double dipping, or is it just merely collecting? So we're going to address all of those things. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Star Trek shirt today. If you watch my channel, you know I'm a Star Trek fan. And I'm going to use a lot of my Star Trek paraphernalia to illustrate many of these points because I have so much of it. It'll be a good use for this type of illustration. So, all right. Whew, crack them knuckles. Here we go. Sit back and relax as we talk about upgrading, double dipping, or is it just merely collecting? Okay, my friends, let's get to the comparisons that I'm trying to create in this video. It's not going to be easy. I still think it's a lot of gray area between what all these things are. But utilizing my Star Trek collection and certain things, I'm going to try to show why getting multiple copies of movies isn't such a big deal. For example, all right, I'm going to start with this. So this is a Star Trek tricorder, super nerd alert. So this is the thing that Spock would always wear, and they'd scan the area, you know, and figure out where they are and what's going on and stuff like that. So this is an actual, like, screen accurate prop that a prop maker made and I bought. This is very expensive. This is like a $200 thing or whatever. And if you look, so that it looks just like the one old Spock had, like screen accurate, right? And they even designed this part to put your battery in right there. So, you know, and whatever stuff you want to hide in there. So this is one thing that I have. And so you think to yourself, well, I don't need another one, right? Wrong. All right. So apply these to your movies now. So I got this. So this is the toy version. This is the $30 version instead of the hundreds of dollars worth of version. And now if you look, see, and so the batteries are in here, they're a little dead. So all it does is light up. But you can see it's got a readout on there, so that's a little different. But it does have the same inside, right? Because that's the screen accurate part of it. And but this is the medical tricorder that Bones used. All right, so when you open it up, it's got this thing. And if you ever watch Star Trek, Bones always pulls this out, and he's like, woo, 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 and he scans people with it and checks their readout and their medical stuff. So this is the medical tricorder. So you got to have both, right? So now you can stop. Now you don't need to double dip on another one. Or triple dip. Yes, I do. Okay, and here it goes. So this is the other one, also leather strap. They all have leather straps. You open it up, and this is slightly different, right? It's a different readout. And the inside here is different. All right, so that is because this is the science tricorder. And when you open the compartment here, you get something different right down there. So you get these little vials of, you know, little crystals, you know, so it's kind of neat. Whoopsie, little additional thing right there. So you get these little crystals that go with it. So, you know what I mean? So there's a reason to kind of double dip, triple dip, and get different versions of things that you love. So we're going to apply owning multiple props of the same thing, similar to owning multiple versions of movies. All right, let's see where this goes. So we'll stop there with the props because that's my way of telling you it's okay to have more than one thing because you're a fan of that thing. This is what I'm getting at. You're a fan of that thing. So let's take Star Trek now and show you the fandom that comes with it. Starting with, all right, we'll just do the TV show. All right. So when the TV show came out, here we go. This is a great little collection. These DVD sets are superb. They're so good. And they're all remastered, right? They're all good. And they even have branching technique, so you can see the shows with the original special effects or the redone effects that they've done to enhance viewing pleasure for newer people who need like a little bit shinier effects. So, but I mean, these are fantastic sets. They're DVDs, all right? So, I don't have a lot of space. So, you know, I still need that high quality picture because I'm a fan of Star Trek. So we upgrade that. So this is an upgrade. This is not really a double dip. This is an upgrade to Blu-ray. So now my favorite show looks as good as it's going to look. Unless, and look, if there's any series they're going to drop on 4K, it's going to be the original series. And I'll be there for that. So that'll be a third. Yeah, I mean, so all right, so let's try to define it together. Is this a double dip because I have the DVDs? Or is this merely an upgrade? So the reason I say it's just an upgrade is when you're double dipping, it's like when you go to Walmart, say, or Best Buy, not anymore, or Target anymore, and they all have their own exclusives of the exact same, we'll just say Blu-ray. So you say that this Blu-ray has 3 different versions. Okay, well that is double and triple dipping because they have found it in their great wisdom to screw the fans by releasing something they know they're going to want and then putting it in different places, forcing you to buy them all if you're that kind of obsessive fan. I don't really go that route. What I usually do is I pick which place has the best of the one that I want, and I'll get that, right? So that'll be my upgrade or maybe a first purchase, right? So that to me is the double or triple dipping that they get you with. Or let's take some of these movies that have come out recently, like Cocaine Bear or Megan or Violent Night. All of these came out with just a Blu-ray. So since that's all you got, everyone pounced on that. And then months later, we got 4Ks of those. So that is an upgrade to me. Like if you want that 4K, that'll be an upgrade, especially if they come with the Blu-ray, because then you'll most likely purge that Blu-ray. So it does force you in a roundabout way to double dip as well, because you weren't going to double dip. That's like saying, well, okay, if the Blu-ray and 4K came out at the same time, would you have bought the Blu-ray and the 4K at the same time? Well, maybe if you're a super fan of that thing, like I am of Star Trek, maybe. I mean, not me though, because like personally, if I'll get to the movies, but if a movie came out, Star Trek 2, 4K, and it also put out the Blu-ray version of that new remaster, I'm not going to get the Blu-ray, I'll get the 4K. I've most likely already bought that Blu-ray in previous purchases, so we'll get to that in a minute, all right? So anyway, so we'll just take Violent Night. So is that a double dip? I kind of feel like it is, because the studios have screwed you over because they made you buy the Blu-ray, but you really want the 4K. Now the 4K is out, so you get that now. So purge the Blu-ray. If you've purged it, now you've just got the one, so you don't have duplicates. It's simply an upgrade. The double dipping happened, but it no longer exists. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's get to the movies. All right. So here it is. So I've got the movies here, right? All the original, these are the DVD, 2-disc sets that all came out, and they're good. They're really good. I mean, these are packed. It's so funny. They're all kind of silver, except the first one. The first one they just did like the movie poster, which is a little weird. Oh, and I will show you this too. I have this one autographed by the director. Let's see, this was Nick Meyer, right? Yeah, Nicholas Meyer did Star Trek 2 and 6. In fact, did I get him to sign 6 as well? Look at that. Star Trek 6, also signed by Nicholas Meyer. So, yeah, so good reasons to hang on to these, just because as a collector, I want multiple copies. So I'm trying to relate keeping older versions of something as a form of collecting rather than double dipping or stuff like that, such as the phasers and the tricorders, right? Those are simply additional things of things I like. So now the collector mentality kicks in. So it's like, well, okay, I like this stuff. I like this movie. I like these TV shows. So I want to get the newest version. So here we go. So I'm going to get to these now. Now I've upgraded all of them onto 4K. And I specifically wanted all of these in individual slips rather than the big box sets, because they're just gorgeous, right? As a fan, as a collector, I loved seeing like the original movie posters come back to life as their form of advertisement. And I had to have these. These are the ones that I wanted, even if it was like a bit pricier to go this route. But as a collector, this is how I wanted to do it, you know? So now I've got duplicates, upgrades, and double dips, right? All in this thing. But as a collector, this is where I try to tell you the slight difference. As a collector of something, the collector in you, if you love that movie enough, and you get versions of it, and I'll just get off of Star Trek for a second. Oh, and by the way, so this one, my wife got me because it's a nice collector's thing. It's a collectible. Okay, so here's that. I don't need this. All right, so this is the one where I know you're watching. It's like, well, Huck, no, that's not even something you needed because you have it there. I know, but this is a collectible. So now you have to get into the mindset of sometimes having these things are collectibles, not movies, right? You're not having it to have different versions of the movie, because if I'm going to watch Star Trek the Motion Picture, I'm going to put in the 4K. And I mean, that's in here as well, but you got to put your grubby little mitts. It's got one of those slip things in there, which I don't like. So this is really just to have this as a collectible. It's got goodies inside. So to me, the movies are sort of irrelevant to the fact of owning this as a nice collectible. All right, now, because I ran out of room, let me grab one more collectible. All right, so this bad boy, I totally don't need. But look at all this good stuff. So on the back, so you've got like this is all the original cast. You get all the original cast movies, the entire run of the TV show and the animated series, which I haven't even pulled off the shelf yet. So that's in here, and I have it on DVD. And you get these prints, you know, nice little prints and a little badge right there. So this is also a collectible. It's just a collectible, right? At this point, I wanted to have this. It dropped at a good price. It actually went away for a while. This thing kind of comes and goes and is usually pricey, sometimes not. So this is something I'm just gonna kind of hang on to and not even unwrap, because this one I want as a nicely protected collectible that, you know, who knows, maybe someday, you know, if I'm needing to purge or something, I can let this go to a fan, maybe make a little profit out of it. All right. So that's another example of collecting. All right. So let's get into different studio releases. So you'll get a Second Sight, or you'll get Umbrella, or maybe Arrow, and maybe they're two different people are putting out the same thing. Okay, now if you get both of those, is that collecting? Because you're a movie collector. See, so I'm a Star Trek collector, so a lot of that collector mentality plays into all the things that I buy on that. As a movie collector, if you have that same mentality that I do when it comes to this thing, then yes, you're collecting. You're collecting. You're not really double dipping. So, you know, if you get, I don't know what's a good example. Let's talk about Red Rock West. That's being released by both Vinegar Syndrome and Umbrella Entertainment. And as you can see, the version from Umbrella Entertainment with the big old chunky box is going for $55, and the one from Vinegar Syndrome is going for $35. So after taxes and stuff, you're looking at $100 to own both copies of this movie. And I personally have never even seen it, so I am not going to drop $100 on a movie I've never seen just to own two copies. So that's a scenario. If you buy both of those, is that double dipping or is that collecting? I kind of argue it's a little bit of both, because if you love that movie enough, like honestly, never seen it, I have no connection to it, I certainly would not buy both of those at all. I would just do a little research, take a look at both of them, see which one I like the most, and then pick that one up. The Umbrella Entertainment one looks really nice. I think I'd lean towards that one, and then call it a day. I don't have the need unless I'm sort of like I said, a big fan and need to get both of those. So yeah, I don't know that, like, so where do you fall? So if you buy both of those, We'll just use that as an example. You can, leave in the comments, tell me another movie that's a good example of what you would do as a double dip, or are you collecting? So if you feel the urge to get them both because you have to have them as a completist, then that feels a little bit more like a collector, right? The collector, you're a completist, you need all the different versions. Double dipping to me is when you kind of have no choice, right? It's such a fine line. Even as I'm saying it, I'm like, well, but you do have a choice. I don't know. It's a super fine line between collecting and double dipping or triple dipping. Now, the easiest one that we haven't even talked about is really just upgrading. Now, if you're upgrading from Blu-ray to 4K and you purge the Blu-ray, to me, that's not a double dip, or that's not like the collector urge. That's just you as a film lover loving that movie and wanting the best version of it. And then you can get rid of the other stuff, thus leaving yourself with the one movie. So you've upgraded. So that's an upgrade. Now, if you keep and maintain all those other ones, then it falls into the collector scenario, right? So, and also, there's a lot of DVDs that had a lot of good stuff on them that the Blu-rays don't. So I've done a lot of custom consolidations on this channel. If you've seen my custom jobs, I will keep the DVD because it's got great menu design. There's a thing that's gone, way out of style, are creative menus. They just don't exist anymore. Or sometimes they'll even have hidden menus, right? You'll have to go up, over, and you find a paper clip, and the paper clip lights up, and you click that, and it's the biographies of all the actors. I'm like, what? That's awesome. That kind of stuff is gone. So I will retain the DVDs, especially if the Blu-ray comes out and it's not a DVD Blu-ray combo. It will be when I'm done with it, because I'll get a two disc case, put the 2 discs in, take the DVD artwork, trim it, because look, at this point, I have such limited shelf space that unless all the DVDs are going to live in the garage in a box, which means I'll never see them again, I mean, why even keep them? So I will customize it so I can have both things in one tasty little package on my shelf, and I can review all of its goodness anytime. So that's an upgrade while also being slight double dipping, and also collecting. See, they can all blend together. I guess what I'm trying to get at in the end here, as I ride this horse into the stable, when people show you on their channels that they have purchased multiple versions of the same movie, don't lose your mind. Don't go crazy, because you understand it. You say you don't. You say, why are you buying all those? Well, you triple, you quadruple dipped. You're an idiot. Well, no, it's also a money thing too. If you don't have the money to do that, then that helps keep you at bay to not do those things. But if this is your only hobby and this is what you put your money towards, and you want, and there's 5 different releases, because it's got a steelbook, then it's got a 4K and the Blu-ray, and they all have different slipcovers. And then Second Sight drops a big old chunky box, and you want the chunky box. Now you've got 4 or 5 copies of that same film. Now, if you are that type of person that needs all 5 of those, then you become a collector. And so you get multiple copies of something you like. And that's okay, right? Because the intention is not to open them all and look at all the movies, because it's the same movie on all the discs. Inevitably, what you're probably going to do, if you're that kind of person, is open one, probably the 4K if you have 4K, or whatever the best resolution is that you are in favor of, and you're going to watch that one. Now, you might want to open the other ones if they've got a bunch of goodies in it. I have a problem, like if I get a nice big old Arrow box or something like that, I just did a Barbarella unboxing, I want to see what's inside. I've bought this thing to adore the contents. Right? The contents are why I bought it. So I'm certainly going to open my box sets, because the whole point is to really enjoy what's inside those box sets. Now, granted, I've got the Star Trek thing still sealed. I know what's in it. And at some point, I'm probably going to cave and crack it open. But, things like this, I have opened already and looked at all the contents. This one's just teasing me and taunting me with its sealed goodness. So that's what I want to tell you. Is so when you see somebody and they've got all these different versions, it just means that they're a collector and they love doing that thing. And so really the only frustration in the whole game, it's when studios screw us by not letting us know what's coming out when they release something, such as the Blu-ray only comes out and then months later there's that 4K. I'm like, what is your point? It's like the only reason they do that is, and it's not to test the waters to see how well it sells. Like, they've got a high-res copy of that film. The Blu-rays that are burned now most likely all have 4K scans. I mean, like, why wouldn't they? Like, you want to be you know, future-proofing yourself as a studio, not backpedaling. So let's do a 2K scan now. Like, at this point, everything's got to be top of the line as we grow and continue, and the streaming services come and go. Like, they've got to be the best they can be, right? So you know it's coming. You know it's coming because we're their last line of money, collectors. So that's why they release it this and then this date, then this date, because the collectors are going to want the highest resolution. So they're going to buy it twice. If you put it out at the same time, the collectors who have their choice, I'm a Blu-ray collector, I'm a 4K collector, they will pick and choose, and then that'll be the end of its run. Like, that'll be the bulk of its success. But if you space it out, all the 4K people may have bought the Blu-rays, and then they'll also get the 4Ks. Whereas all the Blu-ray people have already bought the Blu-rays. So you do get a little double dip. The studio gets their little double dip off of you. And that's no bueno, studios. But let me know in the comments below, what have you upgraded or double dipped on or collected as a mass kind of thing? We've all got the different things that we love and we want to focus on and build that portion of the collection up. And yeah, just in general, collecting movies, like, I got to slow down, man. I'm going to outgrow this room. So I may have to start dialing that down a bit, you know? So it's all part of the game, y'all. Anyway, if you're new to my channel and this brought you here, cool, welcome, my friends. Get down there, hit like, subscribe, smash that notification bell so you get notified every time I put up a new video, and it's often, let me tell you. That's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching, and while you're here, check out these other great videos.